Geronimo, born Goyendaith around 1829 in the Biduncohe Apache band of the Chiricahua Apache, was far more than just a name synonymous with resistance. He was a complex figure whose life embodies the tumultuous clash between indigenous cultures and the relentless expansion of the United States. His birth name, Goyendaith, translated to one who yawns, a rather unassuming moniker for a man who would become a legend of defiance. He belonged to the Chiricahua Apache, a group renowned for their equestrian skills, mobility, and fierce independence, deeply connected to the lands spanning present-day Arizona, New Mexico, and Mexico. Geronimo's early life was shaped by the traditions and values of his people, focusing on hunting, raiding, and adapting to the harsh desert environment. His father, Shikats, was a respected warrior, and his mother, Leah, instilled in him the importance of spiritual connection and ancestral knowledge. A pivotal moment in Geronimo's youth occurred in 1837 when he, along with other young men, participated in a raid on a Mexican settlement, an experience that exposed him to the ongoing conflict between the Apache and Mexican authorities. This event, though commonplace in the context of the time, sparked a lifelong pattern of retaliation and escalating tensions, setting the stage for the tragedies that would define his later life. The massacre ignited a fire within him, transforming Goyendaith into Geronimo, the name he adopted in honor of a respected Apache shaman who had shown him a vision, a name synonymous with fear and defiance among his enemies, and a symbol of unwavering resolve among his people. Geronimo's name, derived from the Spanish pronunciation of the Apache word Yayatoni, meaning one who yawns, ironically reflected his reputation for seemingly effortless endurance and resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. Following the massacre, Geronimo immersed himself in spiritual practices, seeking guidance and strength from the Apache shaman, Juan Clavero, and further developing his skills in warfare and leadership. He became a skilled warrior, known for his courage, cunning, and ability to evade capture, often utilizing his intimate knowledge of the terrain to his advantage. Throughout the 1850s and 1860s, Geronimo led raids against Mexican settlements and U.S. military outposts, seeking to protect Apache land and resources from encroachment and exploitation. His actions were often portrayed by the U.S. government and media as acts of unprovoked aggression and terrorism, contributing to a climate of fear and animosity towards the Apache people. However, Apache perspectives emphasize that these raids were acts of self-defense, driven by desperation and a desire to maintain their traditional way of life in the face of relentless pressure. The arrival of Ulysses S. Grant as President of the United States in 1869 marked a significant escalation in the U.S. government's efforts to subdue the Apache tribes and confine them to reservations. In 1872, Geronimo and his followers were forced to sign a treaty agreeing to relocate to the San Carlos Reservation in Arizona, a move that proved to be a deceptive tactic designed to lure them into submission. Conditions on the reservation were deplorable, characterized by inadequate food, disease, and oppressive military oversight, leading many Apache to resist the confinement and seek to return to their ancestral lands. Geronimo, deeply disillusioned by the broken promises and oppressive environment, led a breakout from the reservation in 1874, initiating a period of prolonged resistance that further cemented his reputation as a formidable adversary. He allied himself with other dissident Apache bands, including those led by Cochise and Mangas Coloradas, forging a powerful coalition committed to defying U.S. authority. The ensuing years were marked by a series of daring raids and elusive escapes, as Geronimo and his followers skillfully evaded pursuing U.S. Army forces, utilizing their knowledge of the terrain and guerrilla warfare tactics to their advantage. The Apache Wars escalated, becoming a protracted and costly conflict for both sides, and drawing the attention of the U.S. public and media. In 1877, Mangas Coloradas was tragically murdered while under a flag of truce, a betrayal that further fueled Geronimo's rage and resolve and solidified his commitment to unrelenting resistance. The death of Cochise in 1879 further diminished the Apache leadership, placing the burden of leadership squarely on Geronimo's shoulders. Geronimo's leadership style was often described as autocratic and uncompromising, characterized by strict discipline and an unwavering dedication to the cause of resistance. He led increasingly smaller bands of Apache warriors, often consisting of women, children, and elders, reflecting the devastating impact of the Apache Wars on the Apache population. In 1886, Geronimo led his final and most significant breakout from the reservation, crossing the border into Mexico with a small band of followers, further escalating the conflict and drawing the attention of the Mexican government. The U.S. and Mexican governments collaborated to pursue Geronimo and his band, launching a massive manhunt that involved thousands of soldiers and scouts. After years of relentless pursuit, Geronimo was finally captured by U.S. Army forces, led by General Nelson Miles, in September 1886 in the Sierra Madre Mountains of Mexico. He and his remaining followers were deported to Fort Marion in Florida, where they were held as prisoners of war. Despite being confined, Geronimo remained a powerful symbol of resistance and continued to attract attention from the U.S. public and media. He was later transferred to Mount Vernon, Alabama, where he lived under military supervision for the remainder of his life. During his captivity, Geronimo became a celebrity, appearing at expositions and posing for photographs, while simultaneously expressing a deep sense of longing for his ancestral lands and the freedom to practice his traditions. He requested to be allowed to return to his homeland in Arizona, but his request was denied. Geronimo died of pneumonia in 1909 at the Presidio San Carlos in Arizona, surrounded by his family, a poignant end to a life marked by both tragedy and unwavering defiance. His remains were initially buried at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, but in 1913, his family successfully petitioned for their repatriation to his ancestral lands in Arizona. Today, Geronimo's grave sits in the Geronimo Museum in Clifton, Arizona, a place of pilgrimage for Apache people and a reminder of the enduring legacy of a man who refused to surrender to oppression. Geronimo's story is a complex and multifaceted one, a testament to the resilience of the Apache people and a stark reminder of the injustices suffered by Native Americans during the era of westward expansion. He remains a symbol of resistance and cultural preservation, his name synonymous with defiance, and his life a powerful reminder of the importance of honoring the history and traditions of indigenous peoples. While his actions were often portrayed as acts of aggression, a deeper understanding of his story reveals a man driven by a profound desire to protect his people, their land, and their way of life. The legacy of Geronimo continues to inspire movements for indigenous rights and cultural revitalization around the world.